what does mystery shopping look like in the digital age? Many of our journeys lately across different industries have changed in the last decade. And so out of this year, we began to review what that looks like, because there's a lot of brick and mortar mystery shopping that we've been involved in doing as an organization that accelerated last year. But as we began to do it and collect feedback, then it necessitated a change. It required for us probably to look at these audits differently. So we are looking at how do we reframe mystery audits as a real-time intelligence system in this digital age, and even as a boardroom discipline, not a vendor audit as we've known it. Now, our background against this was, for over 3 decades, mystery shopping meant somebody walks into a shop, they have some silent, maybe clipboard or paper somewhere, and you go auditing a few things that you have put as the keys that we are looking for in terms of standards. However, from our experience since last year, we're seeing that that model is now structurally inefficient or insufficient, need I say. And why? Because 70% of banking and telecom customer journeys and any other enterprise journeys today, they never touch a physical location. Yet, most mystery shopping budgets are remaining the same. They're weighted towards brick and mortar, not the digital journeys. So the risk then thereof is that we are not capturing in reality the experience that we are delivering to our customers, because over 80% of our journeys have been converted, or programs or processes have been converted to digital journeys or processes, such as apps, bots, and the handoff then means that we are missing that out, and we are not auditing the full customer experience that has now converged mostly from brick and mortar to digital. So if your mystery shopping program has not evolved to cover AI, to cover your AI chatbots, your app flows, your channel handoffs, then I'm saying that you're auditing a customer experience that no longer exists. Most of the experience journeys you have for your customers, are they digital? Likely they are. And if that is the case, then why are you still placing your heavy mystery audit on brick and mortar only? Need I also add that likely 80% of your revenue is coming from digital channels? That being the case, then why is your audit budget relying heavily on brick and mortar? Now, traditional mystery shopping evaluated a single touch point in isolation, so a branch likely. However, we are saying that digital age mystery shopping now needs to evaluate the journey continually. We are looking at what is the customer's lived experience as they move fluidly and even haphazardly or chaotically sometimes across different channels. And here I've only put a few. It means that what we must audit now are our mobile app journeys. Are you evaluating whether there is any onboarding friction today in real time? Are you able to look at the authentication flow? Are there any challenges there? If you're using biometric systems, even in some cases, there are those who use voice authentication systems. Are those smoothly flowing? Are we actually auditing them? Do we know whether they work? Are we looking at in-app support discoverability? When people use our in-app support, does it actually work? And I have tested quite a few, and most of them have static information that has not evolved to currently reflect the reality in evolution on your service delivery flows. Do you have what I'm calling there the hidden dead ends? Hidden dead ends are features that exist, but they are not functional. So when we select those features as a customer on that mobile app journey, it's actually not there. But it was working when it was placed, but because no one is auditing it, then it's not being used. And likely, there's a lot being lost there. Let's look at our AI chatbots next. So these are your, maybe your virtual assistant performance, right? Are you checking the accuracy of the responses being given? Do we measure? When you look at digital mystery shopping, it would be measuring what is the accuracy of the response versus what the customer was seeking, right? What is the escalation logic? Or are they caught up in a system where when the customer is not aptly responded to and they keep trying to get a correct direction, then they have to exit because there's no handoff? Is there consistency in the tone delivery of your bot? Or is it robotic, right? We know we want to make it as natural, as empathetic as possible. And we are continually working to make that tone consistent with natural human engagement. However, if we don't audit it, are we aware if that is the case? And whether the bot knows, whether it doesn't know, do you have handoff to your live agents that is smooth, or must your customers exit? That is what mystery shopping in the digital age looks like. Let's look at our live agents. Even when that handover happens off your digital channels, off your bots, is there any latency? How long is that latency? And if it is long, do you drop customers? Because many times that's what happens. They wait and it's not reasonable and they drop off, right? Is there any use of personalization, in the sense that, does your agent have visibility of the prior context, or do they start the story all from the beginning? In which case, it's a lousy experience, right? Is there resolution, true resolution authority? Are we monitoring and auditing that as well? So when we were looking at the cross-device, I was looking at cross-device continuity, which means when I started an application, for example, on mobile, is it seamless to be able to continue maybe onto desktop and to finish even on a phone call? How is that journey? Have we designed it that way that we can flip across devices? This is the reality of our customers today. Or are we maintaining a single thread? Or does the customer become your integration layer, right? We are looking at a methodology shift from snapshots, which is what we have been doing physically, to understanding journey threads, because mystery shoppers now need to be scripted with persona-driven, multi-channel scenario support that goes not looking at single checklists, but looking at multiple checklists that take into consideration all these multiple channels that we have given our customers access to, that have become the main way they now access our services. Yeah, that we now need to have mystery shopping audits that train us to behave like real customers, switching in and out of channel. Have we looked at that? Looking at journey scripts that have co-designed with our digital elements as well, and an evaluation criteria that scores our transition. Because we have great risks, and our highest risk at this point is the handoff. The handoff from our digital channels, normally at escalation levels, to now our live agents, which is where we want it to be seamless. Yes, when a customer goes through an experience that requires for them, when they're utilizing a bot, for example, yeah, and is the customer forced to restart and keep repeating themselves? And when that happens, and probably we discussed earlier, the bot is not giving them what they require, we see that the risk becomes that there is a break that is likely to occur, a point of failure that is likely to occur, that we are not measuring in this modern digital age. And that is the handoff, where they just give up, either silently in this African context, they break off and they just give up, and they now may be forced in some situations to visit your establishment if it has a physical point, or we see them going to social media and taking the conversation there, which is messy because now it's on view for everyone, or attrition. So we need to be able to deploy persona-driven multi-channel scripting that actually helps us to have seamless handoff at touch points. And this can only happen through what? Effective digital mystery shopping, that we are effectively monitoring how this is happening in real time across our digital channels and journeys, and we'll see later what that looks like. Now, this is an example of what that looks like, what a silent handoff failure actually looks like. The scenario I've given here is of a telecom customer where their issue, is successfully resolved around 80% of an issue via the chatbot. But then there's a percentage that is not resolved. And when that requires escalation, the live human agent whom it's escalated to, because in some situations you may give them the opportunity to now take it up with an agent, has zero visibility to the prior conversation they had with the agent normally. And therefore, we have seen that the agent now restarts the diagnostics from scratch, which is very frustrating for the customer. So it's a poor experience, number one. Number two, it's a poor use of resources because you have already utilized the digital resource that took you up to a point that didn't successfully complete it. And now you have to utilize another resource, so double resource utilization through your live agent who now needs to start the diagnostic from scratch. Now, in your organization today, for all of us on this call, would this handoff failure, like in this particular example, be detected proactively by your CX program? Or is it only discovered via a customer complaint? When a customer does not complain, if they're frustrated to the point they drop off, then likely you're losing a lot of customers in terms of service utilization and in terms of total attrition, just because of a situation like this, where we are failing to proactively audit our digital channels from time to time to be able to build high efficiency that ensures that we do not have high failure rates in being able to give our customers an excellent experience as they utilize or as they consume our products and services. We are proposing a methodology we are calling the 3-layer intelligence stack. And this 3-layer intelligence stack looks at 3 main areas. From the base, we are looking at the behavioral elements. This is what we call the qualitative ground truth, or the human mystery shopping, where here we are saying the trained shoppers still matter because they catch the nuance. So you still need trained shoppers who will come, who will understand the tone, the treatment based on whatever processes and services or how they're supposed to address the customers. And this layer primarily looks at how does it feel. So you're looking at your session recordings, like what we do now. We are looking at when they go to the websites, the clicks, and those kind of things. That is where this baseline is. Then the next level is the emotional signal at scale, which is the sentiment and natural language processing analysis. So you're looking at what is the emotional signal at scale. And here you're applying sentiment analysis and conversation analytics to be able to actually understand your actual chatbot transcripts and validate whether they actually work. Yeah, and whether they make sense or they need some tweaking. And then now you look at your qualitative ground truth. So your human element. How are they capturing the tone? Are they capturing the treatment? Are they capturing how it felt from a natural human engagement perspective? So you split it and everything works together in synergy to be able to ensure that across our physical channels and across our digital channels, that we are able to pick out anything that doesn't work. Now, this looks at why the fusion matters strategically. And remember, I talked about it, that even from a board level, it would need now to be monitored as a strategic element. Yeah. So For example, you have a human friction that is reported, yeah? E.g., they report that the flow that they were using on your app was confusing. That's a point in time that might likely come up as a complaint, and you may pick it as such. But if you look at it in isolation as such, then you may never pick a systematic or systemic issue out. The right circle on your right shows now machine detected friction. This is saying when we use this methodology of digital mystery shopping, it allows you to be able to see at scale the actual drop-off, that, oh, 22% have a drop-off at that exact point, and our mystery shopping reveals that there's confusion, and therefore we probably have a systemic issue, and therefore it now allows you to troubleshoot and pull out or resolve the issue so that you limit, your drop-off rate, fix the issue, and give a smooth experience. Tend to sample a lot, but now we are saying here, if you do it digitally, you don't even need to sample. You'll analytically be able to pull it in real time, go across all your customers, probably once quarterly, and then be able to understand what your systemic issues are, and then now address them at that point. So, what is the actionable return on investment? We now here are looking at what we are calling the 48-hour activation rule. We are saying that any critical findings as you track this, as you run this exercise, must be able to trigger an operational alert within 48 hours. So you're not looking at your classic VOC, where we sample data, and then we sit, we do reporting, and then we define actions that we take later. Here we are looking and saying, in real time, you're looking at critical issues that will be flagged. They may be issues, maybe, I don't know, to do with compliance, risk, broken journeys, or safety issues. They need to trigger an operational alert within 48 hours, unlike waiting for your reporting cycle. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, whatever that cycle is, right? And now it will be able to allow you to capture failures, like pre-launch, to avoid the multiplied cost of scaled customer exposure. Now, in the case of new products and services, you can be able to also identify potential leaks, in capturing your revenue. And compliance issues also can actually be stopped, to be sealed at that point of view, or at that point in time. Now that you've done the audit, how then do you move forward? How then do you move from these insights to change? It starts with now ownership, ownership mapping, looking at every finding that you get needs to be pre-assigned to a named accountable owner. Maybe it could be, I don't know, the head of your digital products. It could be your contact center operations or compliance. Wherever that belongs, it needs to be assigned to an owner who needs to be responsible for it. And now, after you do that, then you look at tracking not just the issues found. You're looking at the owners now picking, like your bot designers, your product fixers, to now fix whatever has been identified in line with what the experience needs to be, obviously in line with our CX experts who best understand the customer expectation based on what they picked in the detailed reporting that came out of the audit. And the primary loop after this is done, when you do your testing to run it through again, is to close the loops and now see that you have totally resolved or fixed the issue within your defined service level agreements within your organization. And so it's getting buy-in, first getting ownership, then getting buy-in across the different teams who are involved in that cycle of your digital systems, inviting your designers, your contact center leads to come together to be able to fix the issue conclusively, and then closing the loop and checking together with your scorecards and measuring, really, as it were, using your metrics, that indeed you have now fixed the experience or improved the experience for your customers. What is the difference? We are saying the difference is on 5 key areas. One is the scope. Previously, our legacy model was physical, branch and store visits. This proposed digital age model is looking at your omnichannel journey. So your apps, your bots, and that kind of thing, your digital journeys. And it includes your AI handoffs. Number 2, the dimension is data. Previously, we were looking at the human scorecard only. How did your agents interact with your customer? But now, in this model, you're infusing it with natural language processing and telemetry that is being handled even by your AI agents, if you have them already in place. We're looking at your reporting cadence. Our legacy model used to say either monthly or quarterly, and quarterly is the one I see that is more common where mystery shopping is concerned. But now here, the proposal is we are looking at real-time alerts within 48 hours, as opposed to waiting, so you can fix digitally on the go. And then the ownership, our legacy was a centralized CX team because it was more complaint-based, more agent-based, but now it's a distributed model. We have talked about our AI bot designers, your product designers, and all the owners that are in that journey process that contributed towards that digital channel at the end. And finally, when you look at the value frame angle, we are saying that the legacy model was looking at service quality compliance purely. That's it. But unlike that one, this one is even at a higher value because now you're looking at protecting your revenues, you're looking at retention, managing attrition, and mitigating risk. So you see the value in this model is way, way, way higher. Way, way, way higher. It's looking at things from a different perspective, and those are the benefits. So I'll now come to the end by closing and asking us to do a self-assessment of ourselves and opening the floor to any questions, because I know this is very, very different to what most of us have looked at in the past. And based on your organization's operating model today, what do you think is the single biggest vulnerability in your current program that you offer, your current mystery shopper program? Is it number 1, the digital channel coverage? Are you auditing the 70%? Yes, no, I don't know. If it's a no, that is very worrying, considering if most of your business is lying there, most of your engagement with your customers is there, then it means you're not auditing your customers' experience, and it is a mystery to you and will be for a long time. Number 2, are your human insights linked to telemetry, your AI agents, data fusion, your channel navigation? If not, again, you're looking at a spot in time and you're actually blind to the reality of the navigation of your customers on your digital channels. Number 3, how efficient are you? How proactive are you? What is your SLA? What are your KPIs? Previously, the KPIs were likely the best you could do was monthly because it requires a lot of planning. There's a lot of physical requirement. And if the coverage is regionally challenging, even longer. But now, this digital option allows you to be able, even within 48 hours, be able to identify and to be able to put in place solutions or to curb the risks. And finally, do you have cultural buy-in in terms of how engaged are your frontline product owners, and not just the frontline, we talked about centralized, all the owners across the different points in the journey for your digital channels? Are they working in isolation? Likely then, we are still blind to the experience because we are working in silos in as far as bringing together the teams that will make the mystery shopping audit for our digital journeys successful.
Yeah, thank you, Claire, for the great presentation. A question on the 48 hours SLA, right? Where
Yes.
we're able to notify specific stakeholders on any action that is maybe product owners. Is this
Yes.
automated or has to be triggered by the users?
This is automated. So because we are tracking the journey and monitoring, a certain alert comes and triggers For example, when you say if there are drop-offs, so it sends a trigger to our system and it will be able to collect the drop-offs, and you're able to see in summary, at that point in that journey, for example, you've had 10% drop-offs, so maybe you need to look at that journey. Or it could be activating a service. So some digital channels are service flows that we activate services, right? So I'm activating a service on your app, but it's not working, it's not functional. So you have a way that it's identified technically, and that becomes the trigger. So that whenever that ID comes, that the service activation was not complete, then that is collected and you're able to see it in the dashboard, and that then allows you to be able to pick up that item.
Please expand more on the concept of telemetry.
Okay. So telemetry looks at the automated process of collecting data from like automated sources. And then from these automated sources, you transmit it to a central place. In our case, I was looking at, if I can give an example, an automated source is engagement with an app, right? Or I'm engaging a chatbot. It's automated, it responds to a certain set of things I tell it and gives me feedback. And now being able to collect information from there that you can use to measure how well it works.
Yeah.